this camp different than another? New coaching staff, different attitude. I'm not saying better or worse, just different.
Everything. I went home the other night and I was talking to a few of my family and I was talking to them and they were like, well, how's camp going for you? And I was like, it's like year one. Everything's new defense, new coaches, new players, same field, same old gold and blue, but it's different, so.
You've been around long enough. The NCAA rules have changed somewhat on you in terms of camp. Does camp seem as hard as it did in the early days?
Yeah, so as you age, like just take NCAA rules out of it. First off, it's different as you get older. A lot of times, like you're just trying to jump on the horse per se as soon as you get here, but now it's nitpicking at the little things, and so some of those improvements come from being nitpicky. So that's hard. So it's just a different type of tired. Now on the NCAA portion, it's not easier nor is it harder. It's just different because when I first got here, we were able to bang more. And so your body was more sore, your body was more tired, but we had more off time because we needed it because we banged so much. Now there's a whole lot less off time. You can be here from 6:45 a.m. till 9:30 at night. Most of us are. But we're not banging as much. We're out there for an hour and a half, getting good work in, and we're here for some other stuff. So it's not good, bad, it's just different, and they're both just as exhausting mentally, physically. They're just different.
Do you have to learn in a different way in terms of more film study, more classroom, because you're maybe not on the field quite as long, so you have to pick it up in a different way?
Absolutely. So since we have less time to practice, it's extremely imperative that we take what we learn in film and apply it immediately because we only get so much time on the field. So when we're on the field, it's time to implement our corrections instead of correct on the field. So it's a little bit tricky, and it's one of those things where you have to buy in and you have to be like, okay, I'm out here for an hour and a half. I have to give it 110%. I'm going to be tired after this, but that's what I have to do, and you have to implement it immediately.
Reese, you talk about corrections. What are some things that you think this defensive line still needs to correct over the next couple weeks?
Consistency. We see huge flashes of playing phenomenal, and then we'll see some flashes of maybe not bad, but not to our full potential. So I think that we've come a long way in being consistent because we're not, through the roof, and we're also not doing horrible at times. But I think that for us, the major key to us improving and continuing on from here is consistency, and just bringing those lows not as low.
What have you seen out of Taj so far? What do you think he can add to this defense?
Oh, he's a phenomenal player. I could talk about everybody on the D-line as well and everybody at that position, but Taj specifically, he is very talented. He brings a lot to the table for us. He's a good speed guy, length, size, and for him just getting here, and I say just getting here as if he hasn't been here long, but this being his first year here, he's done very well. I think he has adapted to everything that's happened so far. He could be a very good player this year and in years to come. He's just got to keep improving.
Tell me a little bit about kind of taking the Stills brothers under your wing. I know you guys have that mentorship program, and they aren't necessarily your guys, but in talking with Darius, last week, he mentioned that when he was getting here, you were one of the guys that really sort of kind of took him under your wing.
Yeah, so my biggest thing is I might not be their big brother or however you want to put it, but I'm that old guy in the D-line room. I'm the leader on this team, and it is my responsibility to bring those guys along regardless of who it is. So the Stills brothers are my responsibility. Taj Alston is my responsibility. JJ and Jalen, they are my responsibility. So everything immediately falls upon me, and then it falls upon Coach Leslie and then Coach Brown. So they always say, horrible teams, nobody leads. Mediocre teams, coaches lead, and great teams, players lead. And so that's where we're at, and that's what I'm trying my best to do. It's not always easy, but I think that those players, Darius, Dante, Taj, Jeff's going to be here, all those guys, they're so talented and we're so deep that even when I leave and I'm done here, I think that we're going to be very, very good on the defensive line for a very long time, just because the culture is changing, the scheme is changing, and the coaches are finally putting their finger on exactly how they want it. So, but being able to take those guys under my wing and kind of show them the right way to do things, it means a whole lot to me, and I think that they're finally understanding the way that this team needs to go and how they are going to be influential even when I'm gone.
I'm trying to think. Colton's been here longer than you.
Yes.
Who else?
I don't think anybody else. maybe some of the staff, maybe the janitors and the kitchen staff, maybe.
But does that make you? I don't know. I don't want to say feel old, but does it add something to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So even today we had an appreciation day, I guess. So the Pride of West Virginia was out there performing for us today. We got to go meet and greet them today. It was a really good deal for us, but. I hopped up in the stands for a little bit with Coach Leslie, and we were talking about how we, kind of run things on the sidelines or how we used to, just from a defensive standpoint. So, because ultimately you can simulate things in practice, but when you get in a game, the Bulls start flying. It's hard to simulate like sideline adjustments and things like that unless you've done it. So we're sitting there talking about sideline adjustments, and I was like, okay, this is how we used to line up. Chairs were here, this, that, and the other. We used to have grease boards and people holding towels. And he was like, oh, we're going to do it this way, this way, this way, this way. So it's different. Like, I'm the old guy, and I'm trying to help the coaches understand what we have done, so that way they know what we're familiar with. Like when we had our mock game the other day, we had our pre-practice or pre-game warm-up in the weight room, but then we did Coach Brown's pre-game warm-up on the field. So it's a little bit of give and take. Like, we're learning about them and they're learning about us, trying to find that happy medium. So it's weird being the old guy. It's weird being old, and it's weird, kind of. It's also hard. It's also harder when you're older too, because you've done things so long in a certain way that it's hard to change. But I think that I've done pretty well adapting.
The next 20 will go really, really fast.